Here it goes. Close the door, close the door.
Hurry up. Y'all better not take my dog.
69-year-old Edna Annie Camp says this headband with an eyeball is part of her voodoo ritual. As she walks around her home barefoot, animal control workers scramble to try and catch all the cats and dogs. She says she has no family nearby, no close neighbors, and now no pets.
I think it's a bunch of BS.
But the city feels differently, saying her house is unlivable. It's dangerous for her, her pets, and her neighbors.
Feces everywhere, cats inside the furniture, everything. It's just, it's really a mess.
Spray the room where it won't smell so bad. I haven't been able to do it.
Code compliance may condemn the home. She's lived there for 39 years. She says she's always had pets, and her neighbors say it's always been a problem, which animal control hopes has finally come to an end.
It does get you, you know, it's a bittersweet type thing. She is unable to take care of them, so we have to do something for her.
Six-pump peppermint, non-fat, no-whip mocha.
Grande vanilla latte.
Half-cap venti.
Lattes, macchiatos, and double espressos.
Tall coffee, no latte.
Once foreign to the mainstream, now part of our American vocabulary.
Venti latte.
Grande strawberries and cream frappuccino.
So what's behind this fascination with specialty coffee?
I traveled here to beautiful Seattle to go behind the scenes of the Starbucks empire to find out why a simple cup of coffee has come to mean so much to so many people.
This is where it all started more than 3 decades ago.
Would you like room for cream?
In Pikes Place, the original Starbucks.
Do you come to San Antonio much?
A few times a year.
This is the man who has brought specialty coffee to the masses. It's Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. It is he who had the vision to create a place full of passion for coffee, like he witnessed in Italy.
If there's anything that we've created over the last few years, it's this sense of place. The gift that we all have at Starbucks is that coffee it's not a product, it's a way of life.
That way of life is sustained here at the Starbucks Nerve Center in Seattle.
What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to kind of wake up your senses, caramelizing.
Welcome to Coffee College for the media. Only a select few are invited and brought here.
Elevation plays a key part. In fact, it's the most important piece of what makes great coffee.
Starbucks travels to the tops of mountains across the world in search of great coffee beans. Those beans are tested for quality before arriving at the plant. Then they are tested again in a ritual called cupping.
It's sort of the universal way to taste coffee.
Pulling it up into your nasal cavity, which is really where you taste, so you get the full expression.
So I decided to try my hand at cupping coffee.
Here you go. Perfect.
I barely know you guys. Just like wine tasting.
Quality control doesn't stop with cupping. It continues here at one of 4 American roasting plants. The green beans from the growers are shaken, then roasted to a rich brown at just the right temperature. And freshness is checked using 2 devices before it's shipped to a Starbucks near you.
I have to have it. I'm addicted to it. Is there something different about Starbucks than other coffees?
You know, I tell you that all coffee has the same caffeine. I'll tell you that I think what you're finding is that our taste profile.
Grande vanilla latte.
A taste that keeps bringing back millions of customers every day.
Swimming pool with full of ice.
You won't find air conditioning or electricity, and some of the shelves are bare.
Yes, it is hot. No bread. We haven't had no bread since Friday.
Y'all open?
But if you need something from the store in Port Arthur, Skalkel's Deli is your best bet. It's about the only place open.
Came to get some water and stuff, a couple of bills, some chips, some boudin. Gonna sit down, light my barbecue pit, and clean my yard.
Richard Mays is like so many who followed the evacuation orders before the storm.
The preachers left and locked the churches.
But tonight at the corner store, it seems people who stayed behind resent those who left, as those seeking shelter somewhere else reveals a weakness in character.
I stayed here. I'm gonna go down with Port Arthur. I wouldn't care what happened. That's good. But
I ain't trying to preach to nobody. I'm worrying about my children. That's why I left. Well, look.
Let's say you run like rabbit.
Hey, look, I
you
ran
can't
back.
stand. I didn't run. I stayed right here, and I was in old Raggedy House.
At a time when the people of Port Arthur need to come together to rebuild, it seems some first need to come to an understanding of their neighbors' actions before the storm.
They got the hell out of Dodge.
It's country living at Danny Marr's home. Quiet days until customers shoot guns at the shooting range just down the street. Marr says at least 30 times bullets have strayed onto his property.
They're either penetrating the home or landing on the property. I'm afraid it's a matter of time before somebody gets hit.
Mr. Marr is lying.
Vern Hester owns the Bullet Hole shooting range, and he's not buying Marr's stories of stray bullets. Hester says the 2 berms, or walls, surrounding the range keep it safe.
This impact area here, okay, is the initial impact area for our pistol shooter, okay? And should something, get in off this berm, it will be trapped by the other berm.
But Marr shows us what he calls evidence of stray bullets lodged in his house.
Is that not a bullet? He's either going to have to build his berms up or change everything in another direction.
Shooting from over here?
Hester says he doesn't have to do anything. He says Marr has cleverly made up the stray bullet stories to take away attention from himself. You see, Marr faces a criminal charge after allegedly trying to destroy some of Hester's property last year. 2 men, 2 completely different stories. And what ultimately will happen to the shooting range is anyone's guess right now.
Houston, Texas, on lane number 3, bus number 61.
10 minutes, there will be 2 buses going to Laredo.
It's tough, it's very tough.
Si ya venían en el camión, sacan los boletos.
But I hope that we make it over there.
Ninfa Gonzalez is one of thousands of passengers expected to go through downtown's bus station today.
Jacksonville, Atlanta, Charlotte.
Extremely busy, the station has welcomed and sent off over 10,000 customers this week alone. And on our highways, you can expect some holiday traffic. With lower gas prices than this past summer, drivers are filling it up.
You want to check any bags?
Back at the airport,
It just really puts a lot of stress on the family.
where more wait, sleep, or find some way to pass the time.
I'd have to say for this time of the year, it's going pretty smoothly.
But for the Powell family, things have been far from smooth.
Our flight was delayed, then we got up in the air and we had an emergency, so our plane had to come back around. We're delayed for another hour to go into LA because of weather, so we're just tired. It's been really hectic.
But they'll remain positive and hope for the best.
If we could just get there, that's all we want now.
They want an entertainment center in it. Looking at a long-term project. Tried them all out, or just, we got to get those DCA.
Richard Davies is a busy guy.
You want installers.
Running his Northside aviation business.
Do you have the original?
A job that used to be overwhelming.
About ready?
Until he discovered why.
I had no idea that I was ADD until, I didn't even know what ADD was. 737.
Davies has adult attention deficit disorder. It makes it hard for him to focus and concentrate.
I'm forever losing my car keys. I'm forgetful. You're doing the pocket doors, is that right?
Davies says he still has days where he'll rush to a business meeting. The only problem is he leaves his keys in the car and the engine's still running. And it's that sort of impulsiveness the doctors say is a classic sign of the disorder.
Psychiatrist Dr. Harry Croft says adults with ADD develop it as children, and that about 3 adults in 100 have it. Why are we hearing more and more about adult ADHD?
Because we now realize that it persists into adulthood.
And no one knows why.
Unfortunately, we don't have a blood test, a brainwave test, a urine test yet for it.
So for now, a questionnaire is used. Dr. Croft says adult ADD is more than just an annoyance. It can control your everyday life.
Relationships. There's more divorce amongst people with ADHD. There's more difficulty in keeping one's job because they can't concentrate and focus and they're too impulsive.
He says there are several drugs to treat ADD.
Okay.
Drugs that help people like Richard Davies focus.
I just want to check and see when you're coming back.
Concentrate and get better control of their lives.
Get a hold of everybody and let them know.
Batari Jones, News 4, WOAI.
I've been doing this 34 years.
Michael Armstrong knows a few things, like hairstyles. They come and go. And progress, well, it's typically slow.
We've been waiting for this money to come through and revitalize this east side for the last 25 years.
Fact is, few people around here were surprised when ACCD picked the northwest side to build a new campus. Just another case of being overlooked and underserved.
You want to be greedy and put $100 million worth of infrastructure on the north side on top of the infrastructure that you already have out there.
It says that we are not really here for you.
Denver McClendon is an ACCD board trustee, an East Sider who voted against the Northwest Side plan, and tonight will push even harder for reconsideration.
There are some new properties that have become available, and that's as much as I can say right now.
In the downtown area?
In the downtown area, yeah.
If the new campus does move downtown,
straight razor, that's all we use.
It still may not do much for Michael Armstrong, but he does recognize inner city progress when he sees it. Because around here, it doesn't come around too often.
How's it going?
It's going to be a night like no other. The night we spend hanging out with the Red Elvises.
We try to keep it secret. Don't tell anybody.
They describe their music as
Siberian techno disco.
Yeah. Tango waltz.
Tango waltz. You have to hear them to understand. I had a translator just in case.
Beautiful. Natasha, beautiful Ukrainian girl.
Beauty is important to the Red Elvises. These guys from Siberia see beauty in everything American.
What's the name of your band? We're saying Red Elvises. They're like, Elvis? Sounds familiar.
Before you write them off as some strangely dyed, daring young men,
Fathers, lock up your daughters. The Red Elvises are in town.
be aware you're looking at real talent. Corporate America has taken notice.
They need to be bribed by corporate America like Nabisco. We're the right people to do it.
Can you make like a couple big sampler plates for them?
Nabisco has placed Mr. Peanut on the Red Elvises CDs as official sponsor.
He bribed us. We accept bribes. Yeah. We learned about capitalism here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The brunette in the back is the drummer from Austin. The rest of the guys, all Russian from Siberia, blending rock and roll with music from their homeland.
Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you, people. Red Elvises, your favorite band. Good night.
We come out here to salute them.
That means the day that we remember all the guys that didn't come back and honor those who did come back.
The cemetery at Fort Sam is a garden of stone, a monument to those who died, men and women who chanced death in battle and lost, so that America's vast freedoms could be preserved.
Forward! Forward!
Some of those who came to pay their respects were the comrades who came back home alive.
I respect all these people that lay down their lives for our country.
Others who paid the price didn't lose their lives, but bear the daily reminder of their sacrifice.
They gave so much. It's overwhelming.
Of the many national holidays, Memorial Day is the most somber one, a reminder of the high cost of freedom, which in reality is never free. The price? The millions of lives lost, most on foreign soil, never to return.
At their expense, and in exchange for their lives, America's freedoms remain intact and preserved.
Americans of every background. Many generations from all walks of life turned out today, thankful that America is still the land of the free because it's still the home of the brave. Ed Suarez, News 4, San Antonio.
There was a time when Satan stole something that was most precious to God.
Come on, man. Come on.
I don't think they realized what they did robbing from God.
Stealing from God. Not something most people would like to have on their permanent records, but it still happened.
Late Thursday night, crooks broke into the Golden Gate Missionary Baptist Church and made off with about $1,500 of equipment.
The crooks used something to pry open this door. They went inside, took what they could, and left before anyone could see them.
He's working it out for you.
But Reverend Vincent Jennings wasn't going to let them get far.
I got on the phone and started calling pawn shops.
And he will direct your path.
A little detective work and perhaps some guidance from above took the Reverend to a pawn shop on the south side.
I was able to recover the drums for now about an hour and a half after they had been pawned.
But after that, the trail goes cold. The church is still missing a mixer, speakers, and microphone. At today's service, the congregation was praying for a miracle.
Can you please give us our stuff back?
Reporting on the east side, Shelley Miles, News 4 WOAI.
The city of San Antonio says it had no choice but to tear down this house on Brook Hill Street.
It was beyond economical repair, and again, it was posing imminent danger of collapsing.
Go to Academy, get the oil.
Before the bulldozer moved in, owners Johnny and Maria Delgado gave us a tour. The house was only partially covered by a roof. There's snakes, rats, possums, cockroaches, there's everything, she says. Doesn't it scare you? It does, but they stick out their tongue, and I stick mine back.
Do it like back in the old days. There was candles. Well, that's the way everybody did it back in the 18th century.
The Delgados blamed medical problems as the reason for not fixing their house. But neighbors in the city say they offered to help the Delgados repair the place, but they never took it. The Delgados tell me they paid $17,000 for this house when they bought it 30 years ago. But just 10 years after moving in, their roof started going bad, and now this is the end result. The Delgados say they'll now live in their van until they can find an apartment. On the west side, Randy Escamilla, News 4 WOAI.